Hello, I am Nova SC, and this isn't quite SC, as you can probably tell from this thing sitting here, and the names are a bit weird. And this is actually a mod that I've been working on for about, it's been 3 weeks now. Most of my spare time has been dedicated to this. It's actually live right now. If you want to play it, it's called Vast on the Runway. The map is the Runway, but the whole name is Vast slash hyphen, I think that's the word. Vast hyphen on the Runway. And that's on the EU server at the moment. Once I finish it completely, I have it on all servers obviously. But at the moment I've only got this one race implemented. I'm going to have three races. And it may look a bit like Terran at the moment, but I've actually thought up most of the ideas for this game before I even started playing StarCraft 2. So the only similarities are I'm going to be using some Terran, a lot of Terran models to implement my game. A major difference, because I thought of this most of the ideas before I played StarCraft, of course, I didn't have minerals in my initial concept, so I just took them out. Easy peasy. To generate minerals in this game, each race will have some sort of structure which produces minerals. It's actually called mana in my game, but I just kept it as minerals in most places. Like I've put, you can't. Well, if it would stay up, it says minerals in brackets, and I've kept minerals up here to try and keep it as user friendly as possible. And this is supposed to be metal instead of Vespene, but I've kept it as Vespene. Kept them as Vespene geysers. I want to like strike a balance between keeping it user friendly and making it sort of make sense, if that makes sense. so mine, we can select our martyr and right click on the hut to produce mana, which is minerals. There we go. Hope this isn't too confusing. And to produce Vespene, we can just build these mines, which are basically automated refineries. And to begin a game, we get 4 martyrs. This is obviously just for this one race. The other 2 I can't show you that yet because they're not completely done. And we'll have 1 spare worker to scout our opponents. We send that over there. There's loads of blobs because I'm going to test out some other units for funsies. I'm just showing you the openings for now. And so we're going to start by building 2 things. We have enough money to build 2 of any of these 3 things. We can build more huts, we can build mines, and we can build weapons facilities. So that's right, we can build the equivalent of a barracks right off the bat. The first thing we can build is a barracks if we want. Weapons facilities are a bit different to barracks considering they cost both minerals and gas. And there's a very good reason for that, but that's quite a complex reason, so I'm not going to go into that right yet. I don't have enough supply because I've got tons of units spawned everywhere, so I'm not going to do that. But this probably pretty much shows off what I wanted to show you here. You start off with an operations headquarters instead of a command center, because this isn't Terran, this is Psyche, the race. And operations headquarters are only used to let these mines work, and they prevent you from being revealed. They don't make SCVs, or the equivalent of SCVs. The huts do that. So you can have 100 huts and make 100 martyrs at a time, and that's all fine. Huts are quite cheap, in fact. My mic's in the wrong place, so I'm breathing, I'm sorry. So yeah, so you can see us churning out some gas here. The next thing we will likely be doing is to make more huts, a weapons facility, get some defences up. But that's enough of that. That's all I wanted to show you there, just sort of the basic feel of the game. That's how it opens, and you're going to be teching up normally like any other RTS. So we've got weapons facilities, research facility, but that's like a tier 3 structure. So I should probably put it in this menu, the advanced structures menu, so I'll get around to doing that. Armory, so that's the equivalent of a tech lab. That allows you to build tier 1.5 units. Guard towers are like bunkers, but they detect, and they're not quite as they detect and they have a lot more health, but they can't load quite as many units. We've got launch pads, which allow aces, which are a bit like ghosts. Quite a few differences there, though, unfortunately. Robotic centers, they allow you to build all of the units that I just think of the best comparison here. I'm trying to compare it to our StarCraft 2 to make it easy to understand. Okay, so this would be the equivalent of a factory and a starport in one, and you build a starport, which is an air support bay, which allows you to build the air units from the robotic center, and you build the heavy support bay, which allows you to build the tier 3 units out of this robotic center. Obviously that's going to be confusing to begin with, but it's not very confusing in reality. It's a lot It was not a lot simpler, but it's a little bit simpler than StarCraft 2 in its own way. So now, on board of this, I'll show you some of the units. So, the equivalent of a Marauder, this is the most fun thing, is an RPG expert. I saved the game somehow, that was great. Nothing like nothing like a Marauder, has a completely different role in the army. It is an RPG expert, has only 60 life, it is very bad in straight up engagements, but it's a supporting infantry of a powerful area of effect attack and can shoot up, which is massive. And I'll have these as an example. So these are basically Marines. These are the most similar to a StarCraft 2 unit I have. The light infantry. They're like buffed Marines, if that makes sense. They're better than Marines, but they don't have as many upgrades. They don't have stim packs. And let's show you one shot from one of these, and look at all that damage. Splash damage is massive. 17 damage over. I think it's over a radius of 2. But they shoot very slow, and they have a low HP. So you're not going to make very many of these units, or your army's going to suffer because of it. And let's show you some stats here. So that's one light against one RPG. Obviously lights cost a lot less than the RPG, and the light almost beats the RPG. But this is what I really like. I like the way the units have rolls, a lot like Warcraft 3. If we have 3 against 2, and these are already weakened because I can't be bothered to change them, you'll see that if you just give them a slight... That was a terrible example, I'm sorry. I'll go over here. Wait a minute. If you give the RPGs just a slight bit of meat shield, they do a lot better. So there we go, 3. Attack, there we go. So we give them this meat shield, absorbs a few shots. Look at how close. Oh, I almost won. Almost beat 3. So they perform a lot better with a meat shield. Obviously these aren't good as a meat shield. What you really want are units which I haven't chosen to spawn. You have heavy infantries, which are like massive chunky marines, which attack quite slow but have a lot of HP. What else should I show you now? Okay, this is the master ship, which is the equivalent of a battle cruiser, as you can see. I'm going to try and change as many of these models as possible, but the main difference is its anti-ground attack does splash damage, which is quite unfair, and it has quite a low HP. And its anti-air attack is this. It periodically shoots a Yamato cannon for no energy cost, which sounds unbalanced, but it shoots very slow, and it's going to be taking damage, and its HP isn't very high throughout this time. So let's just show you. So this is very expensive master ship. These are quite cheap compared to the master ship, and I'll show you. Master ship isn't that good. These are tier 1.5 units, and 2 of them have pretty much killed this. Obviously, it's going to win because it's tier 3. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, you have to use the units in the right composition. You have to use them in the right way, or yeah, they're not nearly as effective. Because as you can see, there's great potential for this unit, dealing huge amounts of damage to air units. But you have to make sure it isn't taking the brunt of the force from your opponent. What else to show you? So this is a cybernetic strider, which is a predator, but it's nothing like a predator, as you can see. It can jump up and down cliffs. This is the harassment unit. Jumps up and down cliffs, and it shoots lasers. It throws the lasers, and does quite a bit of damage actually per shot. So if you have a little clump of these, maybe 4 or 5, you can exploit the features of the map. You could jump up here, maybe shut down these. You could knock out your opponent's refineries, these mines, and delay your opponent's income. So this is a really nice unit. You could also, I think also 2 shots damage, 3 shots. I think it's 3 shots. Yeah, 3 shots. These martyrs. So I'll test that out. So you can have them running on in. This is in the editor. I'm testing this. So everything's moving slower because it's on fast speed instead of faster. So these are going to be moving a lot faster than they actually are here. But yeah, so you can move in, snipe units. It's a lot of fun. What else to show you very quickly? I don't want this video to last too long. Mammoth. So it's a Thor. Obviously, I want to change these models. It shoots a lot of splash damage. I have a big emphasis on splash damage because I like tier 3 units being strong instead of bad. And see all that splash damage? Oh my god. They die very fast. Tier 3 units don't have much HP in this game, but they do a lot of splash damage. And see, they've annihilated this army. Most things are in the red, and it took a lot of damage. So, tier 3 units, on the whole, are units that you want to be supporting by other units, by the lower tier units. Taking a lot of tips from Warcraft 3 here. I didn't build. I didn't build the structure I need to build nukes, but these would be dropping nukes. They're aces. So, like in the StarCraft 2 campaign, I think in Wings of Liberty, you have aces and they can drop nukes. And I've also got the stun ability, but I've nerfed it a little bit because this ability, if they were the opponent's units, they would be stunned now. But that was a bit strong in the campaign, so I've given it the ability, but I've increased the cooldown, I think. So periodically you can stun some units that aren't heroic, which is my equivalent of massive. And once you've stunned them, you can maybe drop down a nuke on them, and before they can kill the ace off, the nuke has dropped and annihilated their army. Great times. So, oh, this is a solar elemental, but this is from a race I haven't quite finished yet. Oh, and this is Conduit, which is what a race builds its expansions on. I'm going off on a tangent, but yes, I hope you like the look of this thing. Oh, another thing I want to show you. I'm just going to keep doing this. This is the Slate Elemental. A bit like a Phoenix because it's got the model of a Phoenix, of course. But you attack at this range and it shoots. If you get close up, it shoots a lot faster and does a lot more damage. It's called the Focus Fire ability. And when you're up close, you can also shoot down. Does quite a lot of damage. It's a tier 3 unit from a race I haven't yet implemented. But I put it in here because I thought it was really fun. And it's not at all like a Phoenix because it doesn't shoot. It doesn't like shoot while it's moving like a Phoenix does. And yeah, so a lot of, as I keep saying, the units are a lot different to the StarCraft 2 units. I've changed the behaviours, just how they work, quite a lot to suit how I had my initial vision of the game. I think I've talked enough now. I've talked about pretty much everything that I can that I've spawned on this map. That's a Lightning Storm Elemental race I haven't yet implemented again. Yeah, I'll be uploading some games, hopefully of proper games by proper people that have actually played on this. And my feedback so far is okay. I've had decent feedback so far. Got to make some tweaks, balance changes. Obviously this is going to be horribly unbalanced. Yes, please check it out if you feel like it, if you feel up to it. Fast on the Runway on the EU server, please do play it. It will make my day if I hear some feedback from people. Yes, see you later. Hope you enjoyed that. This will showcase.